back again for another video. So today's discussion will be why a woman displays masculinity, but I want to talk about it specifically in regards to a man dealing with a woman. Now, I don't know if you guys have watched all my videos, have digested the information, have retained the information, so I'm just going to go over it like you've never heard it before. So excuse me if I mention a couple things that you may have already heard, but here we go. So, as you know, there are two. What I mean by two is there's the masculine and there's the feminine. And I'm going to talk about this from the point of a male's perspective. I don't too much cover a woman's perspective because I'm not a woman, so that's the reason why I have Aka on here every once in a while. But anyways, from a male perspective, we read things in very analytical ways. We seek to categorize things, measure, weigh. We have to have names for everything. We have to put things in its place pretty much. And in that is the communication that comes with talking to the feminine. Why a woman would show masculinity is because there is no feedback that is more masculine than her at that time. It doesn't matter where she is. Everybody has an anima and animus, and that is the core of the masculine and feminine. But we have a little bit of both. Men's, of course, is higher in regards to the masculine, and women, of course, the feminine. But we still have that small bit of feminine and masculine within both of us. Nonetheless, when a woman becomes masculine, it's because there is no greater masculine voice that's outside of her than that's within her. What I mean by that is it's almost like her level of whatever it is masculinity that she has, there's nothing in her environment that's surrounding her that's more masculine than her. If you ever notice women's behavior in regards to fight or flight, men run to problems and women run away from them. And that's because of our own disposition of natures. Most times, not every time, but most times that's the case. Men, we're problem solvers, we're fixers. Like I said, we measure, we seek to conquer. We do all these things where women are nesters. And if they don't get the nest, then they retreat. In that, you could understand that if a woman believes that she is the most masculine thing around due to the fact of not having masculinity around, that she's going to present herself to any man who she can't feel or understand the masculine response from. And what I mean by masculine response is when a woman does something, she's either doing it from a masculine or a feminine point of view. Most times these women these days, they're doing it from a masculine point of view. But us being men, we should understand that if there is a more masculine man than us in the vicinity, we let them take charge. And this isn't to say that men are somehow now betas because of it. No, it's just that specific man's form of masculinity is the best suited for that specific job that needs to be done. Every man's masculinity is not the same. So let me make that clear. But women generally don't understand that. That's how men communicate. But when they actually meet a man who they don't cognitively understand that, they subconsciously understand that, but they don't consciously understand that. But when they meet a man who has more masculinity than they do, their behavior changes. A lot of people don't see that change. I see that change very clearly. That's how I know how to manipulate it very easily. Because when I meet a woman who exhibits some level of masculinity that she believes is higher than anything that she's ever met or her environment, then I display my higher masculinity. And what that does is that changes women back into women. That changes them back into feminine. It's almost like oil and water. They don't mix, but they sit happily together. Like they're not volatile. It's not like mixing some chemicals that don't belong together, and now you get explosive reaction. It's just a normal setting. They don't mix interchangeably well, but they sit well together, and that's kind of how I look at it. But if you have a woman who is mostly water, and she believes that in her glass that she's the most powerful thing in it, well, her 8-ounce glass, mind you, and you pour 50 gallons of oil on top of it, she then starts to retreat back into a smaller state of what she's supposed to be. And that's how I look at it. Most of these men, a lot of these men out here, they display very small amounts of oil masculinity to the great 8-ounce cup of water. And that's the reason why she believes that her stance is stronger than yours, is because you're not displaying the masculinity that you need to. I've never ran into a woman in my lifetime where she was known to be masculine or has some masculine attributes about her, around the neighborhood or wherever. People knew her for as being masculine. And then she get in my vicinity and I start talking to her, I display, and I have that proper masculine response, that she continued to be masculine. I've never ran into that problem. So I'm really speaking from experience in regards to the masculine and feminine responses, because if you're ever dealing with a woman and she starts to behave more masculine, you kind of need to check yourself. And it's not because if you check yourself first, it's not because you're the problem per se. It's because it's something that you're displaying that's getting that response out of her. It's not necessarily a problem. It's just something that needs to be put back into balance. And it's very easy. Know yourself. Work on your masculinity. When you start to manipulate your masculinity more and more by taking away principles and figuring out what works for you, women don't have that ability to do that. They have a small ability to do that, not as great as it is intrinsically with men. So when you work on that, you surpass her leaps and bounds in the ability to display the product of what masculinity is supposed to be when it's worked on than she ever could. So anytime that you run across a woman who is displaying some level of masculinity and you're like, that don't jive too well with me, check the environment, check what she's been exposed to, including yourself. Because if you're coming off with that small bit of femininity that's within you, that could be the problem. And once again, I don't want to necessarily say that it's a problem, but that could be what needs to be balanced out, because you need to display more more masculine attributes, more masculine principle to her so that she reverts back into her feminine. But anyway, I hope you guys understood that. If you guys got any questions, definitely let me know. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. I know I'm really bad about that. I don't like telling people to share my stuff, but they should, because I don't want to be pedestalized. I don't want anything to be pedestalized except for the message that I'm sending. I want that to be the forefront of my face rather than my caricature or, who anyone believes me to be. So like, comment, and share for that reason. And once again, check yourself. Make sure that it's not something that you're doing first. But anyways, this has been the Wolf and Beta Close. May you have a good day and peace be with you.